What's going on, everyone? For this mod video, I'm featuring Resplendent Racials package, a mod that overhauls the racial powers and passive attributes of all the playable races in the game. The mod also gives NPCs the racials and lets them use the racial powers as well, which is a great feature. Each race gets 3 passive racials, and they get 2 powers. However, to get the second power, you have to complete a small quest to learn it. So to start this quest, just simply use the first power and you'll get the quest after you use the power correctly. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at the various new racials and powers added by the mod, starting off with Nord. So their power is called Challenge, and this marks the target. Killing it replenishes you based on its health when casted. And for the passives, you have the standard Frost Resistance and increased Magicka and Stamina regeneration when you're at low health. You can also trade with fellow Nords, but the items traded this way are very expensive. And you have Keen's Breath, which is movement speed is increased when you enter combat. So here's an example of kinship, where I can trade with a fellow Nord. Even though this is not a standard merchant, you can still trade with a Nord. Here's an example of challenge. I used challenge on this bandit, and I marked it. So depending on the bandit's health or the target that you casted challenge on, you'll get health back, or it will replenish your stats. So that started the quest for the second power, which is called Avatar. So when you use a power for the first time, you'll start a little quest. So I got the quest, I killed a Dragon Priest, which has more than 1,000 hit points required for the quest. And so I got the Avatar ability, which when I use it, for 30 seconds, it increases all of my stats by 100. And this only works well in combat, so it's a great boost for combat. So let's go ahead and look at the Altmer next. So with Arcane Superiority, in combat, this will slowly transfer excess health to Magicka and Stamina. With High Barrier, you get increased armor rating at high Magicka or Stamina levels. With Wellspring, when you're near death, this will tap into your Magicka and Stamina reserves to heal you back. And your power is Arcane Nova, which absorbs your enemy's Magicka and Stamina and removes their magical buffs. And your unlockable power is called Contingency, and this is where you can weave 1 or more spells into an auto-cast trigger set to activate on specific conditions. As a Argonian, with Chameleon, invisibility will happen when you stand with your weapons out for longer than 5 seconds. With Histborn, you gain rapid regeneration when your health, Magicka, or Stamina is almost depleted, and with Marsh Dweller, poison resistance, water breathing, and the ability to swim faster and regenerate health while in the water. And the power that you get is called Bile Spit, and this spits a stream of acid that blinds and weakens enemies. As a Bosmer or Wood Elf, you can cannibalize dead bodies. You can have a bird that'll mark animals for you to hunt and you'll get a bonus drop. There's a skill called Observe, which means that you can use it to scout out the various stats of a NPC. If you stand still while sneaking, you can detect moving targets. And finally, you have the Beast Tongue, which means that you can turn a nearby predator into a permanent ally until released. Bretons get increased stamina regeneration, which is tripled below half Magicka, and vice versa. Spell Mantle, which increases your magic resistance and grants spell absorption at low Magicka. Zap, which opens or damages a lock with a jolt of innate magic. And you get access to a power called Harmonize, which will detect containers or silence enemies and stun spellcasters. And finally, your unlockable spell is called Shield Dome, which reduces damage taken through the wall of a bubble in either direction. Dunmer can summon the spirits of the dead while in combat, and they also have increased fire resistance and have a buy or sell penalty depending on what race they're trading with. And their unlockable spell is called Balefire, and this unleashes the fires of the Red Mountain to annihilate your enemies. Imperials have cheaper bribes and can pay other characters to like them. They have increased defenses while standing still, and if you have a follower, they gain increased regeneration and the infantry tactics power, which swaps the position of you to your nearest follower. They also have intel, which will peek to the eyes of the nearest person, and their unlockable power is called Colovian Star, and this fully replenishes your 2 highest stats. The Khajiit can move very quickly while out of combat by about 30%, and by a lesser amount while in combat. They also can regenerate their health while sneaking, and their claw attacks are very devastating, and it increases with your level. They also have a power which relates to increasing your claw damage, and kill moves will actually heal you for a lot, and boost your damage as well. And their unlockable power is called Mischief, which instantly ends combat. Orcs have magic and stamina regeneration, which increases at high health. They also have shock resistance and a sell price bonus or penalty depending on race. And they have a really cool power that's not really power, it's one of their passives, which is called Shockwave. And when you're in combat, you can jump up, and this will create a shockwave and throw down enemies. And their power is called Berserk, which greatly increases your damage, and this can trigger randomly in combat when off cooldown. And their unlockable power is called Blood of Malakath, and this sets the target's health percentage to twice your health percentage for better or for worse. The Red Guard have a little bit of an interesting overhaul. So with battle tactics, this will mark your enemies, weakening them to cause your attacks to absorb magicka and stamina. However, with Blood of the Ragada, magicka and stamina are greatly increased, but they don't regenerate in battle. And you also have access to the Desert Wind, which greatly increases your sprint speed, which is great. And your power is called Whirling Defense, which was when a dust devil surrounds you and stuns attackers. And your unlockable power is called Fata Morgana, and this is where you gain invisibility, and you'll immediately regain it once it's broken. So with battle tactics and Blood of the Ragada, it'll make for an interesting battle experience, since it'll kind of revert you back to the Morrowind days of combat. Overall, the mod provides a more interesting experience when encountering various bandits or various necromancers, or just exploring and fighting in general, since the combat will be a little bit more diverse, since the NPCs use the racials while in combat. Not just the active ones, but the passive ones are always on, so it provides a lot of interesting experiences and encounters with various NPCs. Anyways, that's it for this mod video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to endorse the mod if you like it, and subscribe to my channel to see more Skyrim mod videos like this one. See ya.